Hello, everyone, and I'm back. And this recording is going to be about Donald Glover. Now, that video I came up with. Excuse me, I didn't come up with it. The video that he did, the one that everybody is talking about, the Childish Gambino. I'm going to be quite honest. That video's had millions, over 50 million views. I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not even entertain that video. I've just been kind of seeing people's commentary on it here and there, like maybe Chrissy and what a couple of other people had to say, but I have not entertained that video yet. And the reason why is because at this point I'm realizing that these people are trolling to get a response, to get people talking, but it's so much happening in the world, and black people, especially black women, are so unprepared for what's really coming in the upcoming year, and it's going to be disastrous on especially in the United States. That I really, if I watched it and had critique, I wouldn't even bother to critique his video, because I know it's done to get a response out of people, especially black women and especially the black community, right? And so, or deaf community, I take that back. It's no longer black community. It's called the deaf community. And so, but anyway, the purpose of this recording is because I'm looking at this guy, his YouTube channel is called Black Spectrum Network. And he does a lot of tarot card readings. And I know some people have their feelings about that. That's fine. But like I said, I'm just going to have to, talk about things I want to talk about. But it's fine if people think that something is wrong with tarot cards. Now, I find interesting that he gets to the part where he pulled out 3 cards and asked Spirit, what does Donald Glover think about black women, right? And the way he read these cards, now he's one of the few people that I really think are pretty good readers and pretty accurate readers. And I'm telling you, what he has said about Donald Glover's attitude towards black women seems very accurate. And I'm going to let you listen to it, and then I'm going to cut it off and say what I think after that, okay? So here we go. I'm going to start it. Let me cut up the volume here. Hold on, peoples. Alrighty, here we go. I'm going to play it. So he asks, what does Donald Glover think of black women?
Prejudices, but I just got to work with it. Now, how does he feel about black women? He feels that black women are under-recognized and underserved. And he feels they're under-recognized in terms of their talent, and they're underserved in terms of how capitalism doesn't reach their needs as a human community. So black women, he feels that they don't have enough positive images, enough complicated images of black womanness. And he feels that society has left the black woman behind, therefore she's always on guard and ready to strike back at society. But he feels that has put black women in a position to fend for themselves, to save themselves, and he feels like it's only the black woman that can save herself. That is his feeling. He doesn't feel that it is his role or his job to uplift the black woman. He feels it is the black woman's job to do that, because only the black woman knows best for what she wants. And he feels that he would be imposing on the black woman if he were to speak for black women, and he just does his best in his role and responsibility to capture what he thinks is going to aggravate black women, to inspire them to be more unified as a collective. Okay, if that makes any sense, that's how he feels. Are there negative attitude towards black women? Negative attitudes towards black women. There are things that he's unlearning about sexism. And he knows that he's not as advanced on conversations about black sexism as he is about white racism. And he is very open to critique. And he's actually listening to a lot of the conversations that black women are having about him. And he put himself out there in a very honest way so that he could be crucified by black women, because he feels that the only way that he can get better is for black women to sit him down and say, honestly, this is how I felt about what you did. And he's like, look, I'm open to making mistakes. I'm open to doing better.
I'm going to stop right there. And so I'm going to read the comments, and I'm going to tell you why I don't understand what's wrong with a lot of black women. Had this been white women, had Donald Glover said these things, or let's say if it was a white artist, a white male artist that clearly say it's not their responsibility to uplift white women, but then they make it their responsibility to cast them in a negative light. Right? Say for Atlanta, I was looking at Chrissy's live because I don't look at Atlanta. I have not watched Donald Glover's video because I'm just not interested in entertaining this kind of stuff no more, because it's distracting people from what's about to happen. But I wanted to look at this part, and the reason why I wanted to talk about this part is because this is the way a lot of black men feel. They feel like it's not their responsibility to uplift black women, but they make it their responsibility to tear black women down each and every time. Chrissy, and I'm not really subscribed to Chrissy, but I don't have to be subscribed to somebody to agree with some of the things they say every now and then. That's the thing about thinking critically, is that you don't have to be subscribed to them to really agree with some of the things they say. And Chrissy did a video about him. It was when that video first came out with this Childish Gambino stuff, and they were once again talking about Issa Rae compared to Donald Glover, how people were up in an uproar about what Issa Rae said, but then don't have a problem with Donald Glover, right? And so she showed a clip from the show Atlanta, and how the darker brown skinned woman was being jealous of this white woman in the clip, and it's like it's showing Donald Glover or whatever, this white woman and Donald Glover talking, and then the black woman gets all upset and in her feelings, and she's like the stereotypical angry black woman, and she catches an attitude with this white lady. See, they make it, he says it's not his responsibility to uplift black women, but they make it their responsibility to continue to show black women in a negative light. And because they don't understand that this is a problem, they don't understand this is a problem because too many black women don't have a problem with this. I'm going to read the comments, and I'm really trying to understand how black women didn't seem to catch that. I'm at a loss for words how they didn't catch that. So Lovely Bliss sound like it's by a black woman. I'm just going to assume this is a black woman. No avatar. She said, can you do a reading on Chadwick Boseman? They are so obsessed with the phallic. They are so obsessed with black phallus. It's not funny. You missed what he said about black women. You want to hear a reading on Chadwick Boseman. This is, they're attached to the penis of the black man, okay? MC Scene 23. I guess. Sounds like, no, Miss Cine 23. Sounds like it may be another black woman. I'm just going to guess. May you please do a reading on Chadwick Boseman? Thank you. Obsessed with the penis again. Obsessed with the, completely overlooked what this reading said about the way Donald Glover feels towards black women. Another lady, a black lady, says, everything that he feels is absolutely true in terms of society. He has every right to feel the way he does because a lot of black people are sleeping. I feel like they choose to stay that way instead of really facing reality. Like, we have to come together as a people. As long as they keep us broken up, and who is they? Okay, as long as they keep us broken up and divided, they win every time. But if we come together as a people, we would survive and we would beat the powers that be. This is what a black lady said. No periods in this, by the way. That's why I had to stop, because she didn't, not one period and not one comma. Okay, but that's beside the point. Once again, delusional. Come together as a people. Here's the problem. Black women are constantly uplifting black men, but in the reading, it's clear that Donald Glover doesn't feel like it's him and other people. Chrissy was talking about another man on a Blog Talk radio show, that he says it's not his responsibility to uplift dark-skinned women. It was another black guy that said the same thing, but they make it their responsibility to tear down the image of black women. They have, along with white supremacy, has used them, but they have made it their job. Tommy Sotomayor even said, he said it in the comments in a chat, on a black woman's chat. He said that it is his job to tear down black women. Literally, in his own words, Tommy Sotomayor said it is his job to tear down black women. It's not their job to uplift black women. Did you hear that Donald Glover said in the reading that this guy about Donald Glover, and I believe it's very accurate, because he said, Donald Glover said it is not his job to uplift black women. So if it's not your job to uplift black women, then it's your job to tear black women down, because you made it a point to cast black women in a very negative light. That lady on Atlanta, that angry black women stereotype, mad at the white woman, you make it your job to tear down the image of black women. Now, I can't blame that darker brown black woman for even accepting that role. But see, they want to take a role no matter what it is, they're going to accept it. That's self-hate. That is self-hate, So yeah, this lady's comment, I'm going to read it again. Everything he feels is absolutely true in terms of society. He has every right to feel that way because a lot of black people are sleeping. I feel like they choose to stay that way instead of really facing reality. Like, we have to come together as a people. As long as they keep us broken up and divided, they win every time. But if we come together as a people, we would survive and we would beat the powers that be. You ain't beating nobody by not addressing the fact that this man doesn't think it's his responsibility to uplift black women, but black women keep giving birth to them. Black women keep giving birth to them. Okay? And black women keep uplifting them. So anyway, let's go to the next comment. I'm just reading these comments because I'm showing you how dead a lot of black women are. They just really are. Something is wrong. And we already know that. This is another lady just said, thanks for the post. This answers a lot of questions I had about him. She wasn't specific, so I won't go into that because she wasn't really being specific. And it was probably because she knows it's going to be backlash if she say anything negative. Oh, okay. Now this is, I don't know who this is. It could be a black man or a black lady. I can't tell by the name. They said, I think it's so ironic because in a recent episode of Atlanta, he made black women look bitter and jealous. Now she picked up on it because this sounds like, just the language here sound like it might be a black woman. She picked up on that. So it's not his responsibility to uplift black women, but it is his responsibility to make black women look bitter and jealous. You see what I'm talking about? Okay. Now, with that said, let's talk about these black women solutions here. This is why I call it Black Women Solutions. By the way, I'm going to put in the comment section or in the description box, I'm going to put that, this is something that was originated. I don't think it's a movement yet, but the term Black Women Solutions was originally coined by Egypt, and I'm going to put that in the description box every time I put BWS as a title on my video. So, because I just know it's the nature of people, period, to keep mess going. Okay, so just so nobody come back and say, go to Egypt or whoever, say, oh, this lady, she's taking your idea as her own. I'm going to put it in the description box and making sure that I say she is the one who I heard it from her first. She might have not been the one who originated, who it originated from. but she was the first person I heard about this term from. Okay, so I'm going to put that in the description box. But anyway, let me get into it. So part of Black Women Solutions, if it's not these guys' responsibility to uplift Black women, it certainly isn't Black women's responsibility to uplift them. It isn't Black women's responsibility to keep supporting them. Now, I know that a lot of Black women are not going to get this because a lot of them are masochistic and they just like pain. I understand that a lot of Black women have been abused growing up, and this goes generations back. A lot of this denial in Black women doesn't have a whole lot to do with the abuse in this generation. It has to do with several generations going back of Black women not sticking up for their gender. I just uplifted the videos about Margot Jefferson, and then I showed C. Dolores Tucker in the 90s when she waged war against gangster rap. Okay, and you rarely had a lot of Black women standing up against misogyny. You rarely had a lot of Black women standing up against abuse. And I understand the times that they were living in, but at the same time, C. Dolores Tucker fought to keep misogyny, to keep from Black women being degraded. And she did not have a lot of Black women to back her up. It's more than them just being afraid. I'm going to get into that. It's more than the times they were living in. It's a lot more to this story than them just being afraid, okay? It's more to this story. And I'm going to get into that into another video because somebody asked me that question, like, why are Black people so self-destructive? It has a lot to do with secret societies and what they agreed to do. It's much more than Black women just being afraid. What they have done is they have controlled the masses of Black women into thinking into having this Stockholm syndrome type of personality, where you clearly see somebody is not being fair. You see that they're hypocrites. You see that they're abusive. You see these men say it's not their responsibility to lift you up, but they tell you to continue to lift them up. They tell you to continue to support them, but they feel like it's not their responsibility to support you. Black women will see this all day long and not care, and this goes generations back. You see it a lot in this generation because, number one, the internet helps us to see a lot that's going on, but it's deeply, like I said in a video, how a lot of things going on with Black women, Black men, it's not because they come from the Black womb. A lot of it has to do with culture and what's in their cellular memory and in their DNA. Same thing with Black women. What you see right now, a lot of these Black women could have been sexually abused. I believe that. But a lot of it has to do what's in their cellular memory and what's in their DNA, because this tolerance of abuse from these men go back generations, and over time it just becomes something that is just a part of Black women, and it's almost like you have to be reprogrammed at a cellular level. Black women have to be reprogrammed. Okay, so the solution is, of course, we know, and I know people are going to say, well, we already don't support them. I understand that, but the solution is to try to reach out to other Black women who have the potential to understand, to not support these men no more. Don't support them with your dollars. Don't uplift them. They made it clear that it's not their responsibility to uplift Black women. It is not Black women's responsibility to uplift them either. And it's not Black women's responsibility to support them financially. Okay? Just like they got on Black women for not wanting to support Stephon Clark after he don't tweet hate after hate after hate towards Black women. They pushing Black women to support this man. Resist these men. Resist. This is spiritual warfare. And to close this out, I started a new channel because I don't want to go live on this channel, especially when it comes to spiritual warfare against, not just against these men, but it's against Black women who force Black women like us to support abuse. With a spiritual warfare against them too. It's spiritual warfare against anybody. White supremacy. I don't believe in white supremacy, but white supremacy exists in the minds of people who are inferior, and I don't consider myself inferior. But I use white supremacy because that's what Black people like to believe in. So the spiritual warfare against them is spiritual warfare against any type of energy any type of principalities that insist on making us stay low. This warfare is to break that, okay? So I'm going to come up under certain comments under certain ladies. So just be on the lookout for me coming up under your comments and posting a link to my new channel, because I will not announce it out loud. It's some people that's following me that I don't trust, but I can't really stop people from listening to my channel, and some people subscribe to me, but I can't control who's listening. That's why I'm going to come up under the comment section to certain people and post that link to my new channel for me to go live, okay? Anyway, that is going to be the end of this, and I'll talk to you soon.